Gaze into my crystal ball, a look at management trends of the future. The current management trends. Globalization. Borders are falling down every day, allowing people the opportunity to travel internationally, connect internationally more and more, and we will continue to see this grow, as I mentioned later on in the presentation. Business ethics, especially in communications. What's ethical with clients, what's ethical for your own organization. There's going to continue, there have been huge advances in ethical standards across all industries, including those in the communication realm. Workforce diversity. As globalization occurs and continues to build, the workforce is going to continue to diversify with more women, more minorities, and more ethnic differences entering the workplace, and therefore exposing everybody to a much more global environment. Entrepreneurship, especially with the growth and the innovation of the millennials and Generation Z as they get older, entrepreneurial spirit is alive and thriving. It will continue to do this. Knowledge management and learning organizations, the idea of sharing knowledge within any organization from top to bottom, exposing that entry-level PR researcher to the project managers, getting them to acquire that knowledge, learn from within, and grow from within. Quality management, it's the fine-tuning of all business processes within any environment, constantly tweaking and innovating in order to meet not only clients' needs, but also their desires and their wants. So what does that mean as far as the eyes in the next decade? We're gonna need to adjust to more of a personalization environment with the younger generations growing into these workplace roles. They want that touch. They want that personal touch. They want that personal engagement with their manager, knowing that they're being heard, knowing that their voice does actually matter. As a result of that, effective communication is vital to this between managers and employees. We're going to need to know how to talk to one another. And with that, with the added connection across all medias, we are able to communicate in several different ways at all times. Technology has really opened the eyes of each and every individual worldwide, and will continue to do that. New things being invented every day, changing the way industry happens, changing the way effective methodologies for any industry is occurring. As I mentioned, with globalization and diversity, that's going to get even larger and larger. 1 in 5 millennials was Hispanic. There were the amount of births in 2015, 49% of them were Hispanic. We're going to continue to see that trend. People are going to need to know how to speak Spanish. It's going to be almost as popular, if not more popular, than English in our own country. Social responsibility is huge. Personal social responsibility as well as corporate responsibility. CSR, corporations are going to need to develop outlets for community engagement and involvement, and allow their employees the ability to learn and encourage and engage and feel like they're making a change for the better, whether it's in a neighborhood or nationwide. Feel like they're worth something. Psychology is going to be big in the next 10 years as well. The ability for managers to identify what is making people tick. Where's the disengagement coming from? Why? Recognizing it, identifying it, and then being able to provide different results and different methods for that person to maintain engagement even longer. So what does this mean for managers? They're going to need to develop cross-cultural skills and intelligence. That's basically identifying and adapting to any cultural situation at any given time with the right behavior. They're going to need to develop virtual collaboration techniques with more remote locations and more globalized offices. Collaborative tools and techniques for managing are going to be truly key. How do you keep that person engaged when they are across the country, across the world? How do you know they're showing results? How do you know when they're delivering their items in performing their tasks. Going to need to adapt to new technologies and new effective methods of communication. I think that they are going to need, communication is going to need to continue to bolster outside of just email and just face-to-face interviewing. Social media is going to be a big part of that. They're going to need to be able to increase the amounts of information that is at their hands. We are into zettabytes, and the amount of information that is at our disposal is beyond comprehension. They are going to need to get through the fluff, get down to the nitty-gritty details of what is truly important, and retain that knowledge. Going to need to incite motivation and engagement. This could be through office activities. This could be through out-of-office activities, but they're going to need to continue to kind of create new ways to keep their people happy, having fun, wanting to stay around. They're going to need to trust. Trustworthiness, especially with remote, it can be a challenge, and they're going to need to trust that their people and have trained their people well enough to know that they are going to perform the task to the nth degree. So here's the recommended approach. Streamline a training program. If the Gen Zs and the millennials are going to continue that entrepreneurial spirit like we think, that means they're going to work every 2 to 3 years at one organization and then jump ship at another. We're going to need to onboard managers with the adaptability skills, whether that's change in personnel, change in environment, change in industry, change in technology. They're going to need to be encouraged by innovation and not scared of it. We're going to need to research flexible working environments. What works? What doesn't work? What works in this country but doesn't work in this country? And really kind of have a better idea globally of what those environments need to look like. We're going to need to establish several community efforts. CSR, as I said, is huge. Giving our employees the opportunity to get out and feel like they're making a change, doing something for the better, is going to be key to support and encouraging the staff in the future. We're going to need to implement new methods of communication. As I said, I think it's going to need to get beyond just simply email and face-to-face interviews, whether that's virtually integrated meetings through places like Google Hangouts or GoToMeeting. Additional methods are going to need to be available to where information is always at hand. We're going to need to onboard psychological and emotional managers for support. They need to identify what's troubling one person that may not be troubling the next. Why are they disengaged here? What can we change to maybe keep them longer and continue to maintain longevity? How can we do that? And those are the once we can identify that and implement that, we will be more effective as managers for the coming generations through growth. Thank you.